So I have Rakesh with me, who's just come out of the screening of While We Watch, the documentary on Ravish Kumar at Event Cinemas, George Street in Sydney. Rakesh, कैसे हैं आप?
मैं बहुत अच्छा हूँ
और कैसे लगी डॉक्यूमेंट्री?
मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी और सही बोलूँ तो मेरा दिल भर आया देख के कि हमको लगता है कि हम लोग बहुत बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं, बट आई डोंट हैव एनी वर्ड टू से दैट रवीश कुमार कितना बड़ा काम कर रहे हैं और कितना मुश्किल है उनके लिए, उनकी फैमिली के लिए करना। और आई एम ए ग्रेट फैन ऑफ हिम और मुझे लगता है कि पता नहीं क्या होने वाला है, वी डोंट नो, बट उसके बाद भी वो अभी तक लगातार इस लड़ाई में अकेले बिना किसी सहारे के खड़े हुए हैं। हम लोग चाह के भी कुछ नहीं कर पाते हैं, किसी किस्म की मदद नहीं कर पाते हैं, बट उनको मेरा सलाम और मेरी शुभकामनाएं और सब कुछ उनके साथ में है और वो इसको करते रहें। गांधी के देश में आज मुझे लगता है कि वो जो कुछ भी कर रहे हैं इससे बढ़ के और कुछ नहीं, इससे बड़ी देश सेवा कुछ भी नहीं।
So I'm going to talk to Swamikant. Swamikant has come in from Singapore.
Yep.
And Swamikant, you do Unseen. So
yeah, I work in a healthcare company, but I support a non-profit who work on unseen workers, which is unseen humans. And this story, what we saw is typically one layer of it. Like, there are much more layers as you go down of people who are typically, they work a lot and their stories are not known. And there's a need to kind of look at, not only democracy, but actually democracy from the bottom of the pyramid. So what you saw in terms of Ravish probably depicting is this from the media perspective, but there are stories, there are stories which is there, and I think people still talk about it, but the way it has been brought out in this review is just one side of the media, but I think there are a lot more, even media can do more in bringing stories of the unseen, unheard population.
yes.
So that is where people like what you're doing or what we can do as a community matters. So each one of us has a role, and by seeing the stories, if you're inspired to do something bigger, so that should be,
And I found it very powerful when he says that it's not about the victory, it's about the fact that somebody showed up on the battlefield.
Yeah, sure.
So it's not, and these are small, individual actions that all of us can take that might bring in a change. How did you find the quality of the production and the direction of the documentary?
It's nice. I think this is one of the good documentaries if you look from a media perspective, and I think well made. And from a timing perspective, I think it also gathers the audience for 1-2 hours, so it's okay.
So now we're joined by Chris, who was watching While We Watched at Event Cinemas in George Street, Sydney. And this was about an Indian journalist. Chris, what do you think? How do you like the documentary?
The whole idea of Sydney Film Festival and these sort of movies is to make one think and appreciate the stories that aren't always told in the media, especially in Australian media. You don't hear about these stories. You hear so much about Modi, his successes, but the untold truth, I think, is very powerful. And I'm a great supporter of these independent movies that challenge what we think and challenge the prevailing sentiments and show us the other side. And I think his plight to keep journalism free and independent at great personal cost is very meaningful. And I'm a great appreciator of it, despite having no Indian connections at all.
That's right, and this seems to be a universal theme of people who are fighting the system. That's true in every country, and more complex in countries like India.
I think in terms of the content and in terms of the timing.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Monica. All the best to you.
Thank you.
So I'm joined by Rahul, who's just finished watching While We Watched at Event Cinemas in George Street, Sydney. And Rahul, कैसे लगी फिल्म?
बहुत बढ़िया। मेरा बचपन मैं इंग्लिश में बोलता हूँ, easier होगा। When I was growing up, I used to watch NDTV. I mean, it wasn't NDTV at the time, it was The World This Week with Prannoy Roy. And that sort of started my interest in NDTV. And I think the brand of journalism that NDTV promotes, that's very different. And I would say probably it's not something that's unique to India. You see something like Fox News, or probably the style of reporting that Rupert Murdoch promotes as and that sort of is systemic. It's not just isolated to India, it's across the world. So you are having a sort of scenario in which you have a series of lies and fake news right across the world, whether it's India, Russia, even the Russian invasion in Ukraine. You see, it's being justified on the basis of nationalism.
Yep.
So it's universal.
Things that were happening back in India, and that's by choice. But having watched this documentary, it's very grim. And I'm glad that there is someone like Ravish Kumarji doing this.
Yeah, and what do you think of seeing him in these very intimate and his weaknesses and his fears and?
It was. So you don't often get to see this side of public personality. So it was very heartening to see someone through their ups and downs, going through what they go through to do the thing they love the most.
थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. तो जब वो सीन थे जब उनके एक वर्कर और उनके कॉलीग्स छोड़ के जा रहे थे, आपको उस टाइम कैसा लगा?
मैं किस तरह की फीलिंग है मैं उसको बता नहीं सकता हूँ. मैं थोड़ा सा रिलेट कर सकता हूँ क्योंकि मैं भी पिछले 30-32 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ. ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में ऐसा होता है, लोग जाते हैं, छोड़ के जाते हैं, वो बहुत इमोशनल होता है. बट ये बहुत ही अलग तरह का काम है. मतलब एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो थैंकलेस बिजनेस है. इसमें आपको सैलरी मिलती है, सब कुछ होता है, लेकिन उसके बाद भी ये बहुत ही अलग तरह की ये सेवा है एक्चुअली.
जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आप जर्नलिज्म या अपना काम दोनों में से एक को चूज करना पड़ेगा कि काम है या जर्नलिज्म है.
मतलब ये एक तरह की हम लोग सुना करते थे स्कूल के समय में कि वर्क इज वर्शिप. तो मुझे लगता है कि यही एक ऐसा काम है जो बिल्कुल पूजा की तरह, क्योंकि ये सीधे तरीके से जुड़ा हुआ है कि आप लोगों को सच दिखा पाएं और लोगों को सच के करीब ला पाएं. बहुत बड़ा काम करता है.
थैंक यू वेरी मच राकेश. और अच्छा लगा आपके जो इमोशंस थे वो आपकी बातों में भी निकल के आ रहे थे. थैंक यू.
And in terms of the documentary, I really liked it.
So do you think Ravish Kumar has the potential to change anything, or is it just falling on deaf ears?
He has the potential to change it, as he sort of said that certain battles are not fought for just being won. It's fought for the sake of it. So there is a degree of population that would still listen to him. That would be quite a marginal population or a small population, but nonetheless there would be a population.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
the best to you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think these things make a difference? People like Ravish Kumar, do you think they'll ever be able to make a difference?
One would hope so, yes. I believe so. It may not be evident. It may take many years. It may be a struggle that we may ultimately lose. But as the man said back in there, it's about fighting on the battlefield and showing up.
That's right.
And
That
being
somebody
able
was
to
there on the battlefield.
Be able to contest these ideas for your principles, even if you don't win. There are many countries, not just India, that face similar problems. And I think it's very important that someone shows up and fights for these morals, these principles and journalistic freedom, even if you do not prevail. I do hope they do.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Chris. Look after yourself.